Hi everyone, welcome to our career inspiration video where we're going to follow the path of a very inspirational somatologist who specializes in the arts of makeup and hair, Morag Steyn. And hopefully this will really inspire you for those of you who are looking to study a course in our industry, and for those of you who are studying or already have, you are going to hear a lot of inspirational tips and journey by Morag that would inspire you, hopefully, as well. Hi, Morag.
Hi, Riëtte. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Good,
it's
thank you.
such a pleasure, and I really thank you for taking the time as an Isa Carstens Alumni to share your inspirational journey with us. So I'm just going to show everyone a quick introduction video of who Morag is.
Morag Steyn approaches faces as works of art. A celebrity makeup artist and hairstylist, beauty influencer, writer and speaker right here in South Africa, India and the United Arab Emirates. Named as a woman who is trailblazing the beauty industry in 2020 by Glamour Magazine, Morag is rated as one of the top makeup and hair artists on the African continent. An award-winning, internationally experienced and published artist, she was also voted as one woman dominating the fashion and beauty industry in 2019. Her decade of experience within the multi-billion-dollar fashion and beauty industry has led to her work being internationally accredited, which comes as no surprise based on her extensive portfolio of A-list clientele that she has worked with. Born and raised in Africa, her irrevocable passion for the industry has driven her towards a new and exciting journey that sees the cities all over the globe. Morag possesses an unquenchable enthusiasm for industry and the individuals she works with. Her ambitious nature is fueled only by a passion and determination to constantly evolve by empowering herself through her experiences, which she then imparts onto others.
I'm Riëtte, the sales manager at Isa Carstens Academy. And before we begin, I just wanted to give you all the background information of what somatology is. So somatology is the study of the human body with a specific focus on skincare. And it really takes everything that beauty services is about, but it's the biggest component in somatology is actually the science behind beauty, the science in the business part, the science in the body, science in cosmetic formulations. And with that scientific approach, there is so many career paths that a person can follow when they study somatology. It really forms the foundational knowledge to go into any direction within our industry. And some of the key directional paths are management, it is education, it is dermal science, and this is a very popular direction, and also the arts, where humans are our canvases, the art in makeup. So Morag is a very good example of somebody who followed that path in management, education, and the arts. So my first question to you, Morag, is please will you share with us a snapshot of your career journey from when you first started studying to where you are today?
All right, so I started my journey at Isa Carstens, of course, and then after Isa Carstens, we of course go into the spa industry. So I started working in a health spa, and then I worked in a salon as well. I did this for about a year, and then I just realized this really is not for me. I then started working for a medical response company, believe it or not, and I was doing sales and marketing for them. And then once again, my savior came and I got an interview at MAC Cosmetics. It was my dream to work there. And because I had such a passion for makeup already, I worked my way up pretty quickly through the company. I then transferred back to Johannesburg, where I'm from. And I then, pretty much started managing the stores, and I was in a great position at MAC. I was at MAC for about 5 years, and then I was approached by a hair and makeup academy, which was head to toe hair and makeup styling school, and they opened a branch in Johannesburg. I then started to lecture hair and makeup, which was really exciting. And I did that for about 2 years. And in my career path through lecturing and meeting so many amazing people, I actually then started freelancing while I was lecturing. And that's when I got these amazing opportunities to start working in the TV industry in Africa. So I, I then completely stopped working for the lecturing school. And I then filled my career with just freelancing. And then I got approached by a Bollywood production and I moved to India. And I've been here ever since. In between, I have traveled to South Africa for work with E-Entertainment, with NBC, for contracts that I had already signed for previously, before moving to India. And I've been in the Middle East for a year, but I'm now based in India, and I absolutely love what I do, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Thanks for sharing that journey, and I really like how you pursued all the areas that you had a passion for and that were in alignment with your strengths. So you started off, with your first course being somatology. So what role did your qualification in somatology play in the work that you do today?
Of course, I'm not someone who gives massages or anything, but it's so important in makeup to know the history of skincare and to know the background with skincare. And of course, the most important thing with doing makeup is the skin. So also preparing the skin before I apply makeup. Of course, at Isa Carstens, we also learned about hair and hair growth. So that's very important for me as a hairstylist as well. And of course, my clients all ask me for their skincare regimes. So through doing their makeup and I'm literally in people's faces all the time. So it's very important for me to know about the skin and to recognize any skin conditions, to recognize any areas of irritation on the skin, and most of all to know the ingredients in skincare products, because I get a lot of clients who are allergic to certain ingredients in skincare products. And it's also very important to know the ingredients in the makeup. So you would obviously use different foundations, especially in a climate like India compared to Africa. You would use a different foundation, and those foundations also affect the skin very differently. So it's very important to know, for instance, if someone has a combination skin type, what sort of primers would you use on the skin, what sort of foundations to use on the skin, and also skin mapping. So you wouldn't necessarily use the same skincare all over the face. You might use 3 or 4 different products. And also, it's kind of like, I like to say, the tricks of the trade, so it's kind of my little secret. Not a lot of people know that I am a somatologist in the industry. So it's quite nice to also educate my clients as I go along and, kind of give them this advice. And then also fitness and nutrition, which is a huge part in this industry, because we have to look after ourselves, and honestly, I can speak from experience. I started this industry and I really didn't take care of myself. But once you start working 18 hours, 20 hours on a job for 7 days non-stop, you have to look after your body. And the only way is through food. So I'm fully vegan now, actually, and I've never felt so energetic. And then, of course, fitness. So I do yoga for my self-meditation, just to keep sane in the industry that I'm in, and to just kind of ground myself, with everything, because we're standing every day. So it's very important to make sure that, for instance, your core muscles are always engaged. Otherwise, you get lower back pain. So all of these things you learn at Isa Carstens, all the physiology, you do fitness and exercise, and of course, nutrition. And it's so fun because I can now give nutritional advice to my clients as well. So, I'm always watching them when we're on set, and, in India, the food on set is so yummy. So I'm always like, watch what you're eating, because you're going to be sleepy in a bit. And then, of course, with my lecturing. So that also helped, having such a great example from Isa Carstens. The lectures are really amazing. So just getting that fully sort of established foundation from Isa Carstens lecturers, it really helped me sort of get through. It's helped me with my master classes. It really just has formed little building blocks to get me to where I am today. And without even realizing that I wouldn't have had these skills had I not have studied at Isa Carstens. And then of course, business. So I'm my own brand. I am a business on its own. And of course, we need to know how to invoice. We need to know how accounts work. We need to know how to like do ledgers and income tax statement reports. So because I've worked in 3 different countries, I have to pay taxes in 3 different countries. So it's very important for me to understand how this works and, you know, how income works and how different currencies work. So all of this has all formed a nice foundation for me to really get where I need to go. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I can also totally relate. I often use my somatology skills just for my own personal benefit, so I get you. But now there's another part in somatology. So let's talk about the hygiene. You know, the workstation appearance, the cleanliness in our industry. Our students are often very surprised about, you know, the strict approach that we take to this topic. So, you know, our students study pathology, microbiology, while lecturers intensively focus on this during the practical sessions and during examinations. So how has this strict school of hygiene influenced your work style today?
So firstly, I must start off by saying that I absolutely despise this subject at Isa Carstens. I was like, why are we even learning about this? It's such nonsense. We don't need to know this. And of course, I was already a little bit OCD growing up. And by being at Isa Carstens and actually realizing how important it is, now that I've kind of matured and I've gone into the career of doing makeup and seeing how untidy, not only untidy, but how dirty and unhygienic makeup stations are in my industry. And of course, I've traveled the world. I've seen a lot of spas. I've seen beauty salons. You know, and I've even gone for manicure sometimes, and I'm like, oh God, please don't use those like dirty tools on me, unhygienically, not clean stuff, you know. So this for me, it's like a pet hate now when things are not tidy, when they're not clean. And also the subject as a whole at Isa Carstens, it's something that I've never really studied for, but it's something that the lecturer, Miss Zoya now, I really, at the time, I mean, she was so strict, and I think everyone in my year at Isa Carstens, I think everyone at Isa Carstens is a little bit, you know, sort of wary of her. She's really strict, but she's such an amazing lecturer. And just by listening to her speaking, I've remembered so many things from the course. So I'm thankful that it taught me a lot of discipline in a sense, and also how to be clean. So for me, having a clean workspace is utmost important. And also decanting everything. So I decant all my makeup. You know, we put it on a working tile where we decant all the primers, moisturizers, makeup, everything. And then also cleaning and learning how to sterilize makeup, because you're working with powders most of the time. Of course, you learn how to sterilize and sanitize. And, you know, in these times, germs are spread so easily. So it's really important to keep the station like as sanitized as possible. And then just funny things like even folding a towel, how we were taught to fold towels at Isa Carstens. I still to this day fold my towels like that. And even when my friends fold the towel, I'm like, no, that's not right. You know, you should fold the towel like this. So it's like in threes, you know, I still do that to this day. And then, of course, just small things like bacteria on a makeup brush, you know. Of course, you cannot share brushes between clients, and also learning how to clean your equipment properly. So cleaning your tools, it's the same as in the spa industry. You need to properly sanitize your equipment that you're using, you know. And also use of fake products in the industry. So I see this a lot in the makeup industry, where fake brands are being used for makeup. This is hugely a no-no in my industry. But of course, a lot of artists do it, and a lot of people try to get away with it. But of course, this is not protocol at all. And also now in these times that we have today with coronavirus around, it's very important that I studied this subject, because I now know how to move forward with, you know, makeup, because you're in people's faces all the time. It's really important to know now how to clean the products correctly and to be sterile, that you're not going to spread anything. And of course, through Isa Carstens, I've also learned that disposable is really the way to go. So especially now, we're really going to try and, in the makeup industry as a whole, try to go more the disposable way to like cleaning things all the time. It's just more hygienic at the end of the day.
Thank you for sharing that. And next, I think the youth have quite a difficult situation where they have to make career decisions at a young age. We're talking 16, 17, and then by 18, they start applying for their tertiary studies. So it is known that if you love what you do, you will excel. And I think this is also very closely tied to one's personality type and personal passions. So by just following you on social media, I've also noticed that when you work on a client, that you actually see your client, you see the beauty in them and outside, and you integrate what you see in them into your art. And when you are able to see beauty, I think you can create beauty. So those are just some of my observations, but I actually more importantly want to hear from you. What, out of your experience, what characteristics would you say are in alignment with a career path that is similar to yours, in order to help our youth understand whether they will enjoy working in this industry or not?
I mean, it definitely helps if you actually like people. That's the first thing. If you don't, I would say go and study software or veterinary. But yes, of course, you're in the service industry. You need to be a people's person. You need to connect with people very well. I always say that I have a doctorate degree in psychology as well, because I mean, for my instance, I'm always with my clients. So I know everything about them. I know their downfalls, I know their upfalls, I know their relationship problems, I know their family problems. So because you're so close with people all the time, and the same goes for a spa environment, you're always seeing that that person who's coming for the treatments, and it's a time for them to relax. So you need to be a really strong-minded person, I would say, as well, to be able to manage that. And of course, you need to always remember that you're in the service industry. So you're there to help people, you're there to heal people. For me in my industry, I heal people through makeup, I heal people through hairstyling. It might be a little bit more of an egotistical side of the beauty industry, but it's the same. Like when I go for my manicures, I always go to my manicurist. If she's not available, I don't go for the appointment. And you know, she doesn't stay too close from me, so it's like an hour's travel journey just to go and do my nails. But because I feel comfortable with her and I enjoy her, she understands me, you know, we just click. So this is really, really important. But what's even more important than realizing that you're in the service industry and that you're always going to be of service to people is that you need to be money-minded as well. So as much as people may think, oh, she's just a makeup artist, or oh, she's just a manicurist, or oh, she's just a dermatologist, because I used to get that a lot in my career as well. But we're actually really smart people. So this is also one thing that, of course, you will learn at Isa Carstens is in business economics. You need to reach targets. So it doesn't matter whether you're working for yourself, whether you're working for a business, you're always going to be expected to reach targets and make money. You're never going to work or be in a situation where you're not making money, right? So, and I always say, like, you get to a point where you've made so much, and then again, you want to reach your next goal and further and further and further to a point where you're so comfortable in making more that you always at the same time need to keep challenging yourself. So definitely keep educating yourself and keep the knowledge there. And always remember that it's not necessarily what treatment you do. It's not necessarily about what services you offer. It's always about how you make the person feel. That is the most important. And that has really, I'd like to say, set me apart from others, because my clients that I have are some of my best friends. So I always have a theory. I know it's a little bit different in this direct dermatology industry, but for me, I always say I can't work with someone if they're not my friend, because I need to feel comfortable with them as well, you know. And you just need to understand each other. When you're working on a movie set or on a film set, you're always going to have that moment, like I might have a bad day, she might have a bad day, or he might have a bad day, but you can never let that affect your work. And it's also about just remaining professional and know where your boundaries are, and also know how to make that person feel good, you know. That's what we're here to do.
Yes, and I think what people don't realize is if you're an artist on a blank white canvas, you know, if you're a little tired, you can go and paint on it tomorrow. When you're working on humans as your canvas, it's a different person. The canvas changes. There's personality factors to take in consideration. So it's a lot more challenging than people think. I totally agree with you. And the other part that is sometimes overlooked is the business side. And that is why we include business modules in the dermatology course. And you mentioned that you definitely have to take the business side and your brand very seriously. So I would love if you could perhaps share some business tips to our dermatologists who aspire to follow a similar career path that you have chosen. So how can they grow their businesses in this industry?
So there's either two ways to go about being in this industry. You're either going to be an employee and work for someone. And of course, there's a lot of benefits to that as well. You'll have a stable income. You'll have sort of company benefits, if that makes sense. Or if you're like me and you have a little bit of a problem with authority, you're going to become a freelancer and just work for yourself. And don't do it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But what I mean by this, I have a very simple concept. When people ask me what it's like to be a freelancer, and I say that there's going to be times when you're going to have caviar and champagne, and there's other times when you're going to eat popcorn and tap water. Like, that's as basic as I can put it. The industry of a freelancer is something, it's really unpredictable, because there might be months where you're making a lot of money, you have a lot of work, and there might be other months where there's nothing. So it's quite an up and down, you know, there's not a lot of stability in being a freelancer. But also there's so many other factors of being a freelancer. For instance, you need to do everything yourself. Nothing comes easy. I've worked damn hard to get where I am. And I've always taught myself that no matter what, there's 24 hours in a day. So if it means that I'm physically doing someone's hair or makeup for 2 hours in a day, there's still so many other hours that I need to do my social media. I need to do, you know, and social media is the way to grow and to really build your brand on a sort of global platform. I still remember a friend of mine showing me how to post my first Instagram post. And I still remember like Googling how to do LinkedIn profiles, you know, and sort of working online and how to sort of develop these social media platforms, which like, I'm talking like 10 years ago, which was a very new thing, I think, in this industry, in terms of like that you need to market yourself online. And of course, when I started, you know, reaching out and traveling globally, you need to do this, you know. So always remember that you are your own brand and that it's a sacrifice that you need to take. There's not going to be anyone there doing it for you. If it means no sleeping, if it means no eating, that's what you've got to do to get where you need to be, you know, and it's really an honest commitment. So I do think it's important to set goals for yourself, and know where you want to be. I set goals for myself every 3 months, almost, even though I know where I am. Sometimes I reach them in a month, sometimes I reach them in 6 months, but the point is that I'm still moving forward, no matter where, you know, I'm going with this. And also remember to practice what you preach. And once again, you need to fully sacrifice yourself to creating something. I always say that my brand and the name that I've created for myself is like a little baby, you know. And I just feel it's either for some people or it's not. You're either going to be someone who is going to go with this path, or you're going to be someone who is quite happy being an employee for someone. But it's still a huge responsibility, because you need to understand that that business owner has sacrificed on their side as well so much. So in a sense, they also started as a freelancer and then they've now continued on hiring people. So, you know, for me, because I literally started with nothing and I've worked my way up to get where I am, I know how I want my brand to be represented, no matter what country I'm in. So even though I have management agencies in Africa, Middle East, you know, throughout the world, I have one in New York, I have one in London. It's really important for them to understand how I got to where I am, so that they know how to continue in a way that I've kind of laid the foundation for. So I still fully have a little bit of control of everything in terms of how I want to be marketed and, you know, how I want to come across to my clients, because I've formulated that very specifically. And I think that is why people are successful in business, because they know where they want to go and they're very specific about how they want to formulate things for their brand or for their business. And I've really stuck with that. You know, it's only in the last 3 years or so that I have a manager in Africa, and he pretty much controls my schedule for me. So in that sense, we've grown together. And yes, in the beginning, you know, there were a few hiccups and a few mistakes, but we've grown so much together that now it's like the perfect harmony of a working relationship, and it just works so perfectly. So I think it's all about like trial and error, and learn from your mistakes, and it's okay. It's, you know, if you go 3 steps forward and you go 1 step back, it's okay to just realize that you've got at least done 2 steps forward in the right direction. So that's pretty much the advice that I can give.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And then there's some other advice we would love for you to share. And I think this will be relevant to people in our industry or even any professional. In South Africa and other countries, it is currently a legal requirement to wear a mask and advisable. Our dermatologists are taught to maintain a professional business look at work, but at the same time, they need to showcase their makeup expertise on themselves daily. With masks covering half of our faces, what makeup or mask wearing makeup advice can you give to professionals who still want to maintain an aesthetically appealing look at work?
I do feel that irrespective of it being mandatory or not in any country, I do feel that wearing a mask is really good practice. It's hygienic, it's safe. You're protecting yourself from, you know, if the client may just have a flu or you don't know what germs are out there. And I don't think it's even about a cleanliness thing. I really just think it's good practice. Even before it was mandatory, there are some of my clients who prefer if I wear a mask. And obviously, if I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, you know, I just want to protect my clients. And then another funny thing is I'm completely paranoid about bad breath. People who know me, I have such a weak stomach for these things. So I am paranoid about it. So I'm always chewing gum. You know, so most of the time, like when I am a little paranoid, I just pop a mask on, and just to be professional as well, you know. But to answer the question, I think it's kind of fun. It's like a new challenge, you know, and I don't think that we should take it up as, oh, I have to wear a mask now. Yes, it is uncomfortable. I feel like I'm suffocating with it on, but it's really kind of fun to know that we can't cheat anymore by just putting on a red lipstick and leaving the house, you know, because now we really need to be very conscious about how we're working with our face, and really focus on fabulous eye makeup and fabulous brows, which is my favorite. For anyone that knows my style of work, I'm quite bold in my makeup style. So, you know, using the eyes, using the brows. I think there was actually an article, I think it was in GQ magazine, where they said that I was the queen of brows. So that's kind of like followed me, you know, with some of my newer clients. They're like, oh, please, can we, you know, can you do our eyebrows like yours? So it's fun for me to play, and I think it should be fun for everyone to be able to play with eye makeup and eyebrows right now. And also remember that even with a mask on, they say that the eyes are the gateway to the soul. And it's also for me, a hugely powerful communication tool is through the eyes. You know, my mom always said to me growing up that if someone doesn't look you in the eyes when they're speaking to you, you cannot trust them. So this is kind of, you know, being integrated in me from a child. So I always think of it in this way, you know, that it's quite fun now that we can actually just play around. But besides all of this, you know, there's nothing more aesthetically pleasing than beautiful eye makeup that really enhance the eye, that really enhance the eye color if you have colored eyes, or, you know, just really, and the eyebrows, the eyes, they really frame the face as a whole. So I think it's, you know, I kind of like to say it's like a bit of a facial harmony, that everything falls together, irrespective of the mask. Because, I mean, yes, a mask is mandatory, and yes, I feel like when I go for a facial, I think that the therapist should wear a mask. You know, I think it's, as I said, good practice, you know. Also, the other important factor to remember is that you'll be saving on foundation, right? So you won't be putting foundation on half of your face. But also looking at trend analytics, going into 2021, a lot of brands are focused on being more organic, and we're kind of going back to a more of a 70s feel with makeup. So less is more, and it's going to be about looking after your skin now. So you're not going to get away with wearing a lot of foundation anymore. And it's really going to start from inside. You know, they say having a good skin, because it's the largest organ on our body. Having good skin starts from the inside. So once again, your nutrition is going to be so important. But more importantly is looking after the area that is actually under the mask. So I really advise not to put makeup on this area, and rather look at skincare products that can sort of help preserve this area, because it is the area that you're going to be sweating under quite a lot. I sweat in this area when I'm wearing my mask, besides the fact that I can't breathe. But I think it's just going to be important for you to prime and prepare the area of the skin in this area, to make sure that, you know, wearing a mask all the time is not going to give you any sort of skin allergens or any skin reactions. So that would be a sort of conscious factor to take into point right now. And also just become conscious of our skincare regimes and become conscious of what we're putting on our faces, you know. And then just to follow on, I will be doing a quick everyday makeup tutorial about how to enhance your eye area and how to enhance your brow area. And you can follow on to that and watch it, and I hope you enjoy it.
Morag, thank you so much. I think that will be very valuable. Just to reiterate, you know, where we can emphasize a little bit more. I also want to thank you for your time, that we were able to connect with you as an alumni, and also more importantly about what you've done afterwards, because I think that is very important for students to understand. Where you study is just your foundation, but it's what you as a person do afterwards that's really going to steer you and create your career. And you are a very good example. So thank you for your time, and stay safe and calm. No, thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Morag Steyn, celebrity hair and makeup artist and an Isa Carstens Alumni. And I'm here to talk to you about doing makeup while wearing these little bad boys, which has now of course become mandatory in our industry. So firstly, I just want to talk about a condition called maskne, which is basically any skin condition that happens while under our masks. So you'll notice that your skin may become irritated due to the friction on your skin. It may cause a little bit of acne mechanica, which is caused from wearing the mask. And this only happens in the mask area because there's an excess of sweat, there's an excess of sebum, and of course moisture happening underneath your mask. So the first tip is remember to always wear a clean mask. I love to wear these disposable ones. You just pop them on and throw them away when you're done, and you don't need to deal with anything. If you are wearing masks that are washable, please make sure that they're made from natural fibers. Something like cotton is really great. And make sure that you're cleaning your mask every single day, okay, to take care of your skin. Secondly, if it's summertime, like it is where I am, this is a complete disaster because we're getting hotter and it's just so humid underneath the mask. It's a breeding ground for bacteria, which we completely want to avoid. So just airing the area every now and again, completely removing the mask. Please make sure that you have sanitized your hands before you do this, or wash your hands, and make sure that you're not standing near anyone. Of course, with the COVID-19 pandemic happening at the moment, we don't want to frighten anyone by removing our masks. So what you simply want to do while wearing your mask is just remove it, chuck the mask away if you have some excess sebum or if the mask is damp. You don't want to be applying the same mask, and just gently pat the area dry with some cotton pads, which I find really works for me. And then secondly, you really want to take care of your skin in terms of your skincare regime. So I've been washing my face 3 to 4 times a day, just in this area to ensure that my skin can breathe, to ensure that it's clean of any bacteria, and just to ensure that my pores don't get clogged. Also, ladies and gents, you're going to be saving on a lot of makeup because I actually don't wear any makeup in this area. There's already so much happening under the mask that we don't want anything more to happen with makeup by clogging our pores. So in my makeup tutorial, which is coming up next, I am going to be showing you how to do a beautiful eye makeup just to enhance your eye area and your eyebrows, and also how to just take care of this area of your face underneath the mask without wearing makeup. And of course, besides cleansing your face, you need to moisturize your skin really well as well. Please don't think that you're going to get away with not applying moisturizer in this area. It's amply important, just as it is applying a primer in this area. So a primer in makeup is a product that really prepares the skin for makeup, but it also really helps in situations like these because you have ones like an oil primer which really helps just prepare your skin, and it does remove a little bit of excess sebum that may be on your skin. So products like these are really great to get by if you're already suffering from maskne, so that's any irritation or acne caused from wearing the mask. I do recommend just home remedies, a little bit of tea tree oil with some hot water, just dabbing it on the area. As we know, tea tree is a great anti-inflammatory. It's very healing on the skin. Or something like an aloe vera gel is really great, which is cooling and healing on the skin as well. I like to do turmeric masks, so just some turmeric with plain yogurt on the area 3 to 4 times a week. Also remember to exfoliate 3 times a week because it really does just remove those excess skin that we don't want. It really just opens up the pores. But of course, remember, if your skin is already irritated, don't exfoliate in the area. Try to heal it before you start spreading anything. Good luck and take care, be safe, and I hope you enjoy my makeup tutorial. You first want to start by decanting all of your products onto a plastic lid container covered with cling film, or if you have a clean tile or petri dish, you can decant all your products. It's just super hygienic and it really helps you to save on your products and not waste any product. I've just started with my eye cream. As you can see, I'm massaging my eye cream with the tips of my fingers very gently around the eye area. Moving on to the moisturizer. This is just my normal day moisturizer that I also like applying all over the skin. I like to give myself a little 30-second self-massage, and it's really just about treating yourself as well. So you can use all your little massaging techniques, really get the blood circulation going. You can see how my cheek area is slightly turning red, and that's just because I've stimulated the blood circulation in this area. Pulling your skin up, you just want to make sure everything moves in an upward direction. Next, we're moving on to foundation with a flat foundation brush. This is really great for the application of the foundation onto your skin. As you can see, I've started on the forehead area, just moving everything out gently. I'm now applying under my eye area. We want the foundation to do most of the work. That's why I haven't put concealer on just yet. Make sure you do all the areas. You can see that I'm avoiding the area where the mask is going to go on. We don't want to be putting any foundation on this area. I've now moved on to using a stippling brush to gently blend the foundation into my skin. Please ensure that the foundation is the same color as your skin tone. There's nothing worse than a foundation that doesn't quite match your skin tone. All blended in nicely, you can go over the eye area. We're now moving on to a primer. Primers are there to really prime your skin for makeup. This specific one, the oil primer, I like to apply after I've put my foundation on, just because it really gives the foundation a beautiful, natural, dewy look. I have applied it on the area where I'm going to be wearing the mask as well. This is a skincare treatment. I'm now just massaging or buffing it in with a stippling brush again, which I use to blend my foundation in with. This just blends the two products together and really just makes my skin look very smooth and natural, which is what we're aiming to do. Moving on to the concealer, I'm just decanting some. Your concealer is slightly a thicker consistency than your foundation. I do have slight rosacea under my eyes and a little bit of redness, a little bit of dark circles, so I just want to make sure that that is all blended in nicely with the rest of my face or skin tone color. It's also great to use a concealer on the eye area, as it does prepare the eye area for the eye makeup. Blending it in under my brows. Make sure that you don't cover your brows with any foundation. If you do, it's not a train smash. You can just gently remove the excess foundation with a cotton bud. Now, just using my ring finger again, I like to just use a rolling and patting technique to really ensure the product gets in, and I feel that the warmth from your fingers really just gives it a beautiful natural look to blending the product in. Now moving on to a normal bronzer. You can use any eyeshadow instead as well. I just like to use a bronzer. I feel that it's really great to just enhance the crease of your eye. So now, just using a blending brush, I'm just roughly applying the product only in the crease of my eye, moving backwards and forwards. You can see that it's not done very neatly, and this is okay. I've done this on purpose just to ensure that the placement of the product is there. We can come back to blending it perfectly later on. So just blending back and forth. If you have a darker skin tone, you can even use a brown eyeshadow instead. Just something that gives your eyes a little bit of shape and that's slightly darker. I'm now moving to underneath the eyes, just underneath the lash line, to enhance my eyes a little bit more and just give my eyes a little bit of depth and make them look slightly bigger. I've just added more product in the corners now, once again just blending back and forth. Don't worry about the neatness of this. This is really just to give your eye some shape. Moving on to a brown kohl pencil now. I'm going to apply the pencil underneath my lash line, so not directly in your waterline. This can once again be done very roughly. As I said, this is an everyday makeup and really easy and simple just to enhance your eye area. You can then move on to the top of your eye, just applying the brown kohl pencil. I'm then applying it in the top waterline as well, in the inner corners of my eye. Once again, not very neat, don't stress. We're now going to blend it with a flat blending brush, just moving back and forth right against your lashes and pulling it out slightly to give a little wing. This also just defines your eye a little bit, as you can see. We're now blending underneath the eye, and remember, avoiding the inner waterline. Please ensure that your makeup brushes are clean at all times, even if you're just doing makeup on yourself. Once again, they're a breeding ground for bacteria, so please ensure that you're using isopropyl alcohol to clean and sanitize your brushes. It is not good to wash your brushes with soap and water every day, so isopropyl alcohol is the easy way out, as I like to say. Now moving on to a black retractable eyeliner pencil. This is just really great to give your lash line a little bit of an extension, as you can see, and I'm applying this in the top inner corners of my eye in the waterline, not on the eyelid. Next, I'm just going to move on to a nice olive green metallic pencil. I like to use this pencil inside my waterline. This really just defines my eye color a little. You can absolutely use a different color. You don't particularly need to use green. Using something like a navy blue or deep purple is really great for under your eyes as well. I'm now just going to blend under my eye area using my stippling brush again. As you can see, the product has completely absorbed into my skin. The oil primer is what I'm talking about. My skin looks really natural. I like the fact that you can still see my actual skin texture underneath the foundation. We are aiming for really beautiful glowing skin without full coverage. We're now moving on to something fun. I like to now use a deep brown eyeshadow just in the outer corners of my eyes in a small V section. So you basically just pop it on, move slightly up into the eye crease and then back and forth. So you can see it's a small little V in the outer corner of the eye, and then just blend backwards and forwards. This is a really simple eye makeup, something that you can all try, and it needs to be easy enough for everyone to be able to do. You can use more colors, you can try using different colors like deep purples. Here I'm just using a gold metallic just to pop in the inner corner of my eye. I feel that just it gives like some sort of liveliness, to the eye area. Oops, a little bit of hair there. I'm now just going to apply it in the middle of my lid, the same metallic gold. You can of course use different metallic colors. It doesn't have to be gold, according to your skin tone or your personal preference. And you can see I've lightly just applied it in the middle of the lid, this just to pop the eyes. And yes, my favorite, an eyelash curler. Please make sure your eyelash curler is sufficiently cleaned with isopropyl alcohol. It's very simple. You just pop it on the lid, grab your lashes in between, push and lift up. Lift is coming. And lift up. This really just opens up your eye area and gives your lashes that extra curl. Now, of course, mascara. I prefer to use waterproof mascara, especially while wearing a mask or in the humid climate that I'm in India at the moment. My mascara does tend to drop, so waterproof is the way to go for me. You can, of course, use your personal preference. Once again, try to not mix mascaras with anyone. You can also turn your mascara wand upwards or vertically just to apply on the bottom lashes. Secondly, we're going to move on to our brow area, where I'm using an angled brush and a gel liner. Firstly, you want to brush your eyebrows up with a wand or an eyebrow comb, really just to lift the hair up in this area. I have had my brows microbladed, but I do feel that to get that perfect brow, you really just need to, enhance them a little bit more. Of course, your brow has 3 angles. You then firstly want to start from the start of your eyebrow, from the start of your eye, working underneath the eyebrow, then of course to the top of your arch, which should be vertically in line with your iris. And then of course I'm just naturally filling the brow in. I haven't actually applied any more product. I'm really just brushing the hair up, as you can see, to make it look really, really as natural as possible. That's the first brow done. Second brow done. As you can see, I'm starting in the inner corner of my brow on the bottom line in a straight line, working to my arch. Then I'm going above and just creating a little bit more of an intense arch, and then just extending my brow slightly. Once again, I'm brushing in an upward direction to really lift the brows up. I quite like a fuller brow, especially now that we're able to focus on the eye area. It is really great for us to start playing around with our eyebrows and our eye makeup. So once again, just brushing it up and done. Now I'm taking a fluffy highlighter brush. Of course, those that know me know that I love highlighter. This is my highlighter palette. I'm going to be using a slightly gold tone, and just on the outer corners of your eyebrow, or as I like to say, in the formation of a C on each side of your face, we're just going to apply a little bit of the powder highlighter. As you can see, this really enhances my features. It really just pops your skin and gives it a beautiful glow. Same on the other side. As you can see where the light catches it, it really just gives something quite exciting on the face instead of the skin just being matte. I like gold tones. My skin tone is quite yellow in undertones, so anything gold. For a lighter skin tone, you can use something that's a little bit more silver. Of course, liquid eyeliner, one of my favorites to enhance the eyes. You're just slightly going to pull your eye out and slightly make a little baby wing, and then just hold the faint liner directly on the lash line and then just pull it across, and voila. Same on the other side, just a small little line on the outer edge of the eye and then pulling it across. I particularly like felt liners. I think that they're quite easy for anyone to use, and you can see it's just a really nice natural line. Once again, moving to my petri dish, I'm now applying an oil absorbing primer, And this is really just in the area where the mask will be. Remember, we didn't put any foundation on this area. And now once again, using my stippling brush, I'm just blending it in and making sure that I'm really taking care of my skin in this area. Primers are great ways to just apply something to the skin, and I find that it also just helps absorb a little bit of moisture while you're sweating and your sebaceous glands are overreacting under that mask. So you can see my skin is pretty even now, even though I haven't put foundation on the bottom part of my face. This is really how your foundation should look. It shouldn't be too thick, and of course it just adds a little something if you actually are wearing foundation. And ladies, voila, and gentlemen, I should say, this is for everyone. You're now ready to apply your translucent powder. I really like just applying this on the areas like my T-zone, of course my forehead. You can see how it just immediately takes away shine. Under my eye area, it is quite comfortable. It's like a talcum powder under your mask, so it also just reduces the amount of chafing or friction or irritation that you'll get. And that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. You're now ready to pop your mask on and enjoy your day. Much love and blessings. Take care and look after yourself and stay safe. Bye.